Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Series Strategy Gamer, and we are returning to our series of Command Modern Operations, where we're trying to find out how much could Iran do against a United States carrier air group. So, we've got a couple of United States ships, most importantly the Carl Vinson, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, along with a couple of guided missile cruisers and guided missile destroyers of the Allied Berkey and Tikondira class, passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and we are just about to find out. So we are going to send a lot of missiles after these guys, but we are going to start out with these low-flying bombers. These are just 4 aircraft. You can probably see one of them over there, 2 over here, and 1 is up somewhere this way, I think. Yeah, you can just see it over here, I think, over the horizon. They're extremely low over ground, just 80 feet now. These guys are going to rise up and try to attack these ships over here. This is not entirely unrealistic. They have been buzzing these ships for the last couple of days, and there was no escalation yet, so they don't know that this time this is for real. We are going to attack them. We're going to come in here and we are going to find out whether we can do enough damage. Now, these bombers are definitely not going to do enough damage. They're just more or less on a suicide mission actually here. So let's see what is going to happen. Let's try to fly in sort of like this. And I don't want to attack the carrier itself, because that would be A, little cheap. B, I think it would simulate the Americans would be a little bit more hesitant about an aircraft flying that close to a carrier compared to, let's say, a guided missile cruiser, even though the latter is also extremely difficult. But also because Iran would actually probably have a little bit more trouble in target identification than we are simulating here. But let's find out about that. Speaking of target identification, let's ask this gentleman here. Yeah, your radar is already on, so that's nice. And after that, we are going to send missiles after that, because in truth, the actual effect would be the missiles. Now, I would hope that these guys are now rising to 1,000 feet, because that is the minimum altitude at which we can drop bombs. So let's actually go ahead here. You are rising now. That's looking good. Pretty good so far. Yes. And indeed, you are at 1,000 feet now. So you're leveling off. Let's briefly look at the track over here. You can already see that that is much higher. There these guys were rising up into the air. So let's bring you sort of on this path here. I'm sure your things are on tight, so that's okay. Yeah, we are gonna have them run. And I think like this might be a little bit better, so that we are with the correct bore side limits. And now we are in range. So let's make sure that these guys are actually doing something. So your guys' job is to pretty much drop all ordnance at this missile cruiser. You've got 4 bombs. Drop them right away, please. You do that as well. How about you? You guys can't do that. So let's find out whether you guys can engage someone else, most specifically, of course, the carrier here. Yes, you can. So let's try to drop your ordnance there. How about you? I'm guessing you're this gentleman, so let's just briefly do this over here. So there we go, bombs drummed on you. That's perfectly fine. And then let's try to shift a little bit south here and try to see whether we can do something this way. Now this is of course a point at which all of the automatic systems would already understand what's going on. Yeah, let's send just more weapons that way, because I think that's what needs to happen here. Now these guys must be banking a little bit, which means dropping bombs is not going to be that easy. Right, and there we go. Of course, there are surface-to missiles, and already we see ourselves being shot down. Our aircraft are definitely shot down, and we are seeing a lot of missiles being launched over here. But nevertheless, a couple of bombs are being launched, so that is pretty much alright. Yeah, and as I said, this is a suicide mission. All of the automatic systems here are definitely... I mean, 2 of our 4 aircrafts have already been shot down, but at least a couple of bombs are in the air, so let's see what's going to happen. Now, since we have done this, I think the next task here definitely is going to be to send in the missiles. Let's park this here on the side for a second and look at our missile situation. Now, the Americans will recognize that we are hostile at this point, so we are going to send all of our missiles after them, and at that point I'm probably going to turn it off to real time because we just want to watch it. Now, we've got basically, let's just briefly run through this. We've got a couple of different missile systems. The most important one is the Gonda, it's a C-802 mod over here. So basically, relatively normal missile, I would say. And this is a normal anti-ship missile, ground launched. And it does have a speed of 520 knots. So for the 65 miles over here, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to come over here and then it's going to impact. And it's going to take, what, like 8 minutes or so to come over here. And then is the most important missile. We've got literally hundreds of those. And then we've got a couple of other ones, which I think were over here. The SSC-1, which is a more ballistic missile. So this is not ground following, I think, but more going on a very high altitude path. This is slightly faster at 670 knots. But most importantly, the SSC-5, we've only got a few of these. I think we only literally got these 16s, which is much faster, I think. Yeah, 1,600 knots. So this will be much more difficult to intercept. And these are really our beasts. They are weighing 3,000 kilograms, so 3 tons basically. We've also got these guys up over here, these anti-radar group. This is just a couple of aircraft, as you can see, in a beautiful formation actually up over here. And these guys are carrying the Krypton anti-radiation missile, which is just a little faster still, I think at about 2,000 knots. Yes, 2,000 knots. So that is even faster to intercept. It's a much smaller missile, and it's only a passive radar seeker, and it does only have a very minimal warhead here, 60, basically 90 kilos of high explosive, so 180 pounds or so. And that is not a lot. That is really not much enough to sink a ship at all. Certainly not of this size. So, however, these guys might turn off some of their radar installations. So that is something that we definitely want to use. So let's turn these guys down into the direction of the ships down here. And we are going to allocate weapon systems now. And I think it does make sense to send these guys in early. I'm not sure whether it's going to be whether any of these is going to come out. We could time that a little bit better still, but you know what, let's find out whether we can do it differently. So we've got 6 aircraft, we've got basically a number of targets over here, and let's start with the carrier, and let's allocate, I think we're going to allocate 4 missiles from you and 4 missiles on you onto the carrier. And then we've got 4 missiles onto this cruiser. 4 missiles onto this cruiser, 4 missiles on this destroyer, and 4 missiles on this destroyer. So that is going to be the first thing that is going to arrive over here. Now, the second thing is we want to stagger our missiles so that they arrive all at the same time, because they have very important and strong weapon defense systems. So we're going to start out here with basically all of the guys that are in this vicinity over here. We've got 32 missiles over here. So let's allocate them to, can I mark more? No, I can only allocate so that at the same time. Let's actually start with the destroyers over here. 8, 16 missiles on you. Let's call that another 16 missiles from this gentleman. So that's the first battery over here. Number 8 that should be. Right, there we are. Then we've got number 9. The rod, we have very few of these systems. I think it's a Chinese system. I think you are going to go after this carrier over here. So let's actually also start with these systems. 12 missiles, I think that's fine. Another 12 missiles over here. And the right, you know what, let's send in 3 missiles for that. That should be nice as well. I think they'll be a little bit faster, but you know what, it's fine. It's going to be alright. Good. Then we've got system number 10. This is the one carrying the SSC-1. And a large number of 802s. So let's use those. And let's pretty much put all of them on the carrier. So 12 missiles from you on the carrier. Same over here. Here. And here. So that's fine. And then we've got another system, so that's number 10, and I think there's also number 5 somewhere over here. Can I see that somewhere? Number 10, number 5. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that one is carrying the SSC-1 and the SSC-5s. I'm not sure how well they are at intercepting the SSC-5, but it's much, much faster, so we're going to wait a little while so that it's more or less arriving at the same time. The second batch of batteries is over here, but they are a little bit closer. Just note how this is about, what, 50, 60 miles, and this here is a little bit more like 48. So that's about 12 miles closer, which means basically, just very roughly, we need to wait in about 90 seconds here to launch the second wave. So we are aiming to launch the second wave at Zulu time, 90 seconds. That's what? That's like 43:15, I guess. 43:15 it is. So let's wait over here. Let's go back to our bombers, see what's going to happen over here. You can see both of these guys are going up over there. There is a missile already coming for that, so we're going to lose all of these aircraft in a very short delay over here, so absolutely no big surprise there. This must be only one guy left, and indeed it is. You are out of weapon systems as well, so honestly there's not going to be a lot happening, but you can see some of these bombs are now falling towards that carrier group, so that at least will be a nice thing to do over here. Right, you guys are also turning in, so that's great. We've got a couple of aircraft over here that are engaging with some of these guys. Let's try to intercept them over there. We've got this long-range system here with the Tomcats. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and we're going to engage these two aircrafts down there with these Phoenix missiles. We're going to allocate 2 missiles to each of you. They have a very excellent range. The issue here with these guys is you need your radar systems on, but they are, so that's fine. We don't know what exactly they are, but you know, it's a flight of 2 aircraft, so I'm fairly confident that these guys are actually hostiles. We've also got a couple of Strike Eagles over here, F-15s. Do we have anything else over here? We've got the MiGs, only pretty much the MiGs. So let's come up this way and try to engage them over here with these missiles. Let's allocate 4. Yeah, I think that's fine. And another 4 on this aircraft. That does leave with 2 of you guys being out of stuff, but that's okay. We're going to come in this direction and that's going to be alright. Right, you can see actually that some of these missiles have already logically been launched, so that's interesting to see. Right. We've got further aircraft here which are capable enough to engage these guys down there. We've got all of these groups up here. Let's try to bring them in very fastly now and try to engage over here. Just flank speed I think is fine. You're very fast actually. That's interesting to see. We've also got this gentleman over here which could technically engage, but honestly that's not that many missiles, 24. We do have these guys over here. They are also very far away, but we're going to keep them in reserve. I think we also saw that there were some ships down there, and we don't know exactly whether some of these ships here might not be American as well. Right, so let's get back over here towards the... Let's actually click on the ship. Where is it? There, over there. Yeah, you can see the missile being launched there. But let's see whether the bombs are going to impact somewhere in this direction. You can see the game is actually slowing down here, and it's not typically that slow. But there's a lot of stuff that is happening at the same time over here. Right, so a good number of bomb hits down there. We don't know whether it has been sunk or anything. Yeah, we can only see the splashes. And we can see they are launching a lot of missiles over here. We don't know exactly what they are. Potentially most of them are surface-to-air missiles. Yeah, that's alright. Good. We are sending in our Krypton missiles over here. So you can see all of these missiles are being launched. These missiles there are launched as well. So yeah, let's actually zoom out a little bit, and you can see sort of some of the different anti-air missiles that the Americans are packing over here. So a couple of these rim missiles that are vertically launched and just directly rising, and some of these ones that are more directly trying to intercept some of these aircrafts that were flying about over there. Right, so first hits from our side over here. We have lost a number of aircraft, that's okay. These Tomcats I think have not launched anything, but the long-range MiGs here have launched the first of their missiles, the AA-13, against one of the targets way over there, so against these F-15s. We don't know again what these multi-roles are, but fine. Right, let's get going and see what else is going to happen. Let's get over here and see whether we can see some of these missiles streaming in. Yeah, you can see some of the missiles streaming out over there. Oh, let's close and resume. Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of these informations, and you can see a lot of these missiles are streaming in. Quite a number of them are not actually going very much as I would like them to go. Come on, can I shift that? No, I cannot. Okay. So they are going a little bit far away just to mask basically where we're coming from. And you can also see a lot of these missiles are probably anti-air missiles that were just going anywhere. But I think we also saw some notifications of vampires over here. And vampires are not anti-air missiles. You can see all of them streaming out over there. And that is extremely interesting. I'm not going to click on them, but they are probably Tomcats, probably Tomahawks. So anti-air missile, anti-ground missiles that they are now shooting against our systems. So that is something that we need to be very mindful about. Let's keep on watching the map over here as we are seeing all of these things stream out, also from the carrier air group over there. A lot of these missiles are going off there, so I think that does settle it for the group, for the anti-radar group. Now you still have a couple of Kryptons, so let's make sure you do launch these. You can see all of these guys are launching very high up in the air there. So let's see when these guys are depleted. Do we not assign all of them? Okay, let's make sure that we've assigned all of them. Can I have a look at what you are... Oh yeah, no, we have actually not allocated 3 of these missiles. So I don't know who has been under-allocated, so to say. You can see how many missiles are going for each of these targets. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send one of these Kryptons towards each of these ships, and I think that's going to be perfectly fine. There we go. Should be more or less launched immediately. Let's close and resume over here. We're going to get a lot of notifications. So there goes one missile. Come on, launch the other one. Another one, and... the game is actively slowing down here, I imagine. Right, come on, and there we go. So that was the last missile there. So let's close that. That means our anti-radar group, you can see they are already launching a lot of surface-to-air missiles, I think at our aircraft actually. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to take this unit and we are going to turn it around immediately and try to come back in between these mountains, which I imagine is going to be perfectly fine. And then basically come back to our airbase up over here, trying to be behind these mountains, and I think that's perfectly fine. Let's go for minimum altitude, maximum speed, terrain following approach. So that should hopefully be fine. Can you go to minimum altitude, please? 20 feet. There we go. Hopefully you're going to do that. Right, you gentlemen can also descend a little bit, please, because I'm not sure whether you have already been targeted. Don't think we have that many more air groups over here. You can see all of these missiles streaming up over there. And you guys, shouldn't you be coming down directly south? Just ramping up speed, I think. Right, we've also got you gentlemen. You are already fairly low. Let's hope that you are low enough. I don't exactly know that, but let's see. You're going to come up there. You're going to try to disengage already. A couple of missiles being launched there, as you can see. So these Tomcats here have launched a couple of missiles, and it's going to be a lot to digest here in a second. So let's also look at these guys. Yeah, there you can see all of these missiles streaming out. I would really like to get a view somewhere. I think potentially from the carrier it's going to be the nicest view here. Yeah, you can see this is missile warfare at quote unquote its best. So as you can see, a lot of missiles meeting up there over the Strait of Hormuz. I guess, can I get that a little bit larger? I guess I could maximize it. Yeah, you can see this is just how this looks. But yeah, let's resume over here. Oh, and actually something that I might want to do is I might just want to launch all of the aircrafts from here, because I think that's going to be alright. So yeah, let's actually do that before we go into the further stuff down there. I think launching you here in groups of 8 is going to be fine. Yeah, let's launch these in groups of 8. They only have the AA-8, a very short range, within visual guidelines intercept. We've also got the Tomcats over here, which we're going to launch as one big group, because the Americans obviously do have superior aircraft. But you know what, I think it's going to be alright. Good. Let's also have a look over here. Let's look at the aircrafts that are stationed in this airbase. 24 aircrafts, most of them Phantoms. A lot of them with Sparrows, or actually bombs. Let's launch you as a group, and let's launch you as a group. It's going to take a couple of minutes or seconds, but I do want them to form up. We're not going to do anything more down here, because I think that's way too close within American engagement limits. Right, you can also see a lot of missiles are being launched at these Vampires, at these Tomahawks. I'm not sure which missiles are coming at them, but definitely some, so yeah, that's going to be alright. Let's look at one of these SAMs. I think that might give a nice perspective here. Yeah, and we have to click that button quite a lot, I think, here. Yeah, there are the first missiles streaming past each other now. So yeah, very much missile warfare. You can see some of our missiles are being launched, some of our missiles being launched there, yeah indeed. And you know what, I think our air group and our anti-radar group over here, we are actually going to tell that to go on afterburner speed so that it might be able to disengage, because I'm suspecting that as these guys are turning around and low, some of the American surface-to-air missiles here are coming in for these aircrafts, and I definitely would not like to lose these Su-34s. Right. There we go. Lots and lots more stuff being detected. And you can see these guys are still coming in. We should have gone lower, I think, earlier. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Yeah, they are definitely coming in, though. And we are not low enough, I think, as these guys here have active radar installation. So what we could potentially do is try to lay chaff. I'm not sure whether it will do that. It's always a little bit weird. Sometimes it does, sometimes it just doesn't. Yeah, but these guys are coming in for us, definitely. And they might well do a lot of damage here. Yeah. I think one of them missed. And the other one missed as well. So we did not lose any aircraft over there. We do need to pause because we are at the designated strike time for the further missiles. So you can see all of the stuff that is streaming out of these things over here already. All of these missiles there going out over the sea. And then we've got all of these surface-to-air missiles, Yeah, I think they are coming still in for the anti-radar group here. Potentially want to move you away a little bit more like that. Yeah, just look at how they dive there, and just keep that in mind, as they're just, most of this is just missiles. This is not aircraft. Right. So let's delete this here for a second and focus on the map. So we've got more missiles coming in. So let's designate missile battery 1 over here, and just try to find the ships. Yeah, there we go. So honestly, I think you guys are going to allocate 8 missiles to the carrier, to the carrier, to the carrier, to the cruiser. Oh. How many have I allocated? All of them. Okay, fine. And to this cruiser, then we've got destroyers. You know what? Let's allocate 12 to this destroyer. And 12 to this destroyer. Have we gotten all of them? You haven't? Weird. Honestly, I kind of forgot what I assigned you to. Right, so that was the one battery over here. What was it, this one? Dear God, I forgot. Okay, I think it was. Right, and then we've got battery number 2 over here. That's you. We've got this slightly faster one, so let's continue with battery number 3 over here. And yeah, that's going to be another, let's do 12 because I think that will switch. Let's allocate another 16 missiles to you. And another 24 towards the aircraft carrier. That should be alright. Yeah, there we go. Next missile battery is, so we've got what? We've got number 1, we've got number 3, there is number 2, and there should be number 4, of course. Number 4 does have different layout over here as well, including these ones, so I think you might be slightly better for a follow-up attack. But we've also got number 6. And obviously, to me still, the carrier does have the highest priority, so you know what, we are going to allocate most of the weapon systems onto that. And you might be allocated to something else as you fly. Number 7, another 36 missiles, so we are going to launch these at, I guess, the destroyer over here, the Allied Berkey class. Although, you know what, let's go for the cruiser, because I think that's a little bit in the front there, so let's try to kill that with 36 missiles here. And that's fine. Good, I think that does settle it, except for this one. And you know what, you might then go for... Let's try to go for the carrier. I really want to make sure that that is being killed. Right, there we go. Now these missiles have made it a little bit of their way. So let's actually use battery 5 here, which is definitely the strongest ones with the SSC-1s. Or didn't we have another one with SSC-1s over here? So you've expended all of your ammo. You've got the reds. Okay, let's try to apply the reds towards, I guess this destroyer here is going to be fine. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Right. So, back to view. You know what, let's actually go ahead here and go to view, 3D view. Close and resume. You know, the game actually continues a little bit there, its resolution, even though it should be paused. You can see one of our missiles has been shot down over here, and a couple of missiles are being shot down in this engagement. Let's actually pause here, and let's maybe center again on one of the carrier, on the carrier here, so you can see and admire the systems over here as they are engaging each other. So it doesn't look like our missiles will be making it through. We should have timed that a little bit better, maybe, to come in as our main missile attack is going to come in. But we thought that we might disable some of their radar systems, and that would have been a very nice win. Unfortunately, speaking of win, we did lose an aircraft over here, so that's not great. One aircraft down. We are seeing more there. Definitely more surface-to-air missiles there, so that is an issue. Yeah, but you can see these guys are streaming out now. Another SU-34 lost. And a third one over there, and there's still a missile in the air. But I still don't think that it's going to be all of them destroyed. But this one might well be lost. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now you guys should be fine though, so please do go ahead and on afterburner speed try to get out of here. Because I think these guys here are trying to come after you. Let's also look at the situation down there. We did obviously shoot down a missile, an F-15 down there. This one did make it off though, and we are now being engaged over here with these Tomcats. Now, I think you still need to come down there. How about you? You still have the ability to engage this gentleman up here. So let's try to make sure that we are firing at least 2 missiles on you. So that maybe these missiles here are not quite as effective when they're coming in. Right, back towards the situation up here. You can see a lot of missiles are coming in, and this is the gist of what this war would likely be. So a lot of missile exchanges over here. These surface-to-air missiles are coming in. I think maybe even against these guys up here, but they might be low enough now. Are you actually on minimum altitude? Yeah. So you might be very shielded behind these guys up there. More missiles being detected though. Oh. Okay. Look at this guy over here. It's trying to come for our mainstay. So what I'm going to do here is going to try to lay chaff. But you're alright, I think. Let's try to keep him there. Can you engage this missile? I wonder. No, you cannot. No suitable weapons at all. Right, there's another surface-to-air missile over there, a couple of ones over here. The anti-radar group is still being engaged by a couple of these rims, so you're going to take further losses. It was worth a try though. These guys are now trying to actively jam, and I think they did lose one of their ships, effectively. Oh, by the way, do admire this down here with all of the Tomahawks as well. Right, just look at this, all of these missiles flying in. So we've got what? Let's take stock here. So the guided missile cruise up there is being targeted by 128 missiles. The carrier is being targeted by 123, and both of these destroyers are targeted by about 30 missiles over there. A lot of their vampires, which I very much suspect are Tomahawks, are now being started to targeted by our anti-air installations, so that's hopefully fine. Guys, are you all going to come in for this guy? Okay, if you are, then I do want to bring you to minimum altitude, and actually I do want you to turn off your radar system forward, so that maybe you can evade these guys. Let's also keep an eye down here. So we've apparently shot down a number of aircraft there. That's nice to see. Honestly, how many aircraft is that? I do not want to look on the left there. Okay, this is 2 aircraft, which means I'm going to designate them as hostile, and you guys here can go ahead and allocate weapons to you whenever you feel fine. Let's make sure that your radar is on. Just like to do it this way. Fine, these Tomcats are being engaged by missiles that are flying that way, whereas these MiG-23s are going that way. That's okay though, I think. Let's try to keep you a little bit in the back. No, we can't actually do that because you're semi-active. That missile has already passed us, and you are fairly low. You're trying to evade these missiles that are coming in. Okay, let's actually try to get you over here. And let's go on afterburner speed and minimum altitude, so that maybe we can evade the missiles. Right, these guys are a little bit late to the party, I feel, but hopefully it's still going to be alright. Good, let's resume over here. Do we have any missiles that we sort of missed? Nothing over here. Good number of the SSC-1s over here, which we could, I guess, use against the destroyers. And maybe the carrier. So 12 against this one. All of you have been allocated? Okay, so it's just 12 that we missed. Okay, fine. Good, we've got the airport there, we've got this battery. It's alright, we've got this battery, you've expanded all your ammo. You as well. How about you? Yeah, you got a couple of SSC-1s, which we might be using, I guess, more or less exclusively against the carrier. Oh, that's not the carrier. This is the carrier. Okay, let's do it this way then. 12 more on you. 12 more on you. We're not like super min-maximizing this, which probably you would try in the first strike. But I mean, you can see already what's going on over here. So all of this happening here is just, in the sense of the word, truly awesome, like in awe-inspiring. All of these missiles meeting there, and these are billions and billions of dollars. But crucially, this is a lot less than the average cost of a carrier. Obviously, carriers are hugely expensive, and operating them this close to any type of coast is just in. If you're not fighting just blindly terrorists, this is gonna be hugely costly. So you're trying to get away now, which I appreciate a lot. But yeah, lots and lots of missiles coming in and striking against this carrier there. We are seeing a lot of surface-to-air missiles already, and I'm guessing that these guys will be trying to come in and disable a lot of our systems here. But will they be enough? I wonder. Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit hard to see. I mean, this is not the best graphical representation, I feel, but man, oh man. Yeah, that was an explosion up there, so they did intercept one of our missiles. But yeah, it's hard to say a little bit what are their cruise missiles, which are ours, other than the color, of course, and which of these are maybe enemy ground installations. Now, you've got the very, very interesting SSC-5, and we're going to try to use that, the SSC-5 over here, one against all of you. One by each of you. So these guys should be very different in their pattern. They should be more or less ballistic, so they should be going up there. Oh, but they're not doing that. Interesting. I thought they'd be going on a very ballistic trajectory. Maybe they're only doing that after they've gone a certain distance. Right, so you can see that their Tomahawks are being engaged by our systems now. You can see a lot of surface-to-air missiles still coming in after our aircrafts over here. Especially this one, but this is now very low, so I'm guessing they should be losing their impetus there. Yeah, and this is starting to be so choppy over here. Excuse me for this slightly longer episode over here, but you know what, I think it is very interesting. So a lot of stuff happening around this island up here. Some explosions. I'm not sure whether it's their missiles or ours. I think it's theirs. I think it's their Tomahawks that are being engaged down here by our... Yeah, these are our surface-to-air missiles striking their cruise missiles, which of course is extremely interesting. Right. These are surface-to-air missiles, but I think this is a group of another Tomahawks coming in. And these are our missiles that are striking towards them. A lot of guided weapons up here, and our this is our surface-to-surface missiles. So, on what trajectory are you actually? Oh yeah, you can see these guys are extremely high up in the air, which does make them a little bit easier to intercept, which probably is why these guys here are traveling so high as well. So, yeah. On the other hand, these Gashaders here are sea skimming, which means they are very low above the water, trying to minimize their radar signature, which probably is the slightly wiser move. But on the other hand, if we can distract them with the other missiles, then I think that's perfectly fine. Right, that being said, we're at the 38-minute mark over here, so let's put in a cod and see what's going to happen with all of these missiles streaming in towards the carrier next time. Do leave a like and all of that, and I hope to see you around then. Bye bye, guys!